Hello everyone. Today I'm very glad because with me I have one of my successful and very brilliant student, Avinash Singh. He is currently officer Danix, and he was selected in 2021 CSE examination, and he was one of the highest scorer in history optional that year, and he scored around 290 marks, or exactly 290 marks in history optional. In this, even in paper 2, he was actually the highest scorer, and uh, so without wasting your time, I will give mic to him, and I'll ask him to give you a very pure and correct guidance, because this whole success story, or I would say this whole success in civil service examination, is based on correct guidance. Nothing else matters than a true and a, you can say, very honest guidance, I would say. And he is here to give back what he has learned throughout his journey to all the aspirants who are actually trying to succeed in this examination through or with history as an option. Hello, Avinash.
Thank you, sir.
And please have a seat and help the students
Sure.
to secure good marks, the marks which you already secured in your attempt, and your experiences, and what are the things which they should do, what are the things we should avoid. All these things you should share with them, so
Sure,
that it will help them and it will shorten their journey. Actually, they will reach their destination in a shorter time, and definitely with good ranks. Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir.
please,
Thank you, sir.
Avinash, have a seat. And
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me to this platform, and I'm really very glad and grateful to Almighty, to my teacher Ranjan sir, and now it's my time to give back to our aspirants or aspirants community. So before we begin, I would like to start with some myths about history optional. I am a civil engineering graduate, and first thing which comes to our mind is that we do not have any expertise in history. Like if we are a graduate from some technical or non-history field, should we take history or not? So what I will means, I will not say just I will not beat around the bush. I will say with facts. See, when we look the syllabus of history optional, I can say with certainty it is one of the, in fact, it is the if we talk about the vastness, इसका हिस्ट्री का जो vastness है सबसे ज़्यादा है. You can count the number of words you can compare with any other optional. But at the same time, अगर मैं इसका cost benefit बताता हूँ, I will start with prelims. Prelims में minimum 20 question is assured, and मेरा back to back prelims निकला है because I had an accuracy of more than 90% in history portion in prelims. Mains की बात करें, essay में we all know कि what is the importance of history. Apart from that, GS1 में we know it covers around 30 to 40%. GS2 में we have history of constitution, which again coincides with our history syllabus. GS3 में we have land reforms, which find its mention in our paper 2 modern part. And apart from that, GS4 ethics, we know about what they ask about philosophy or philosopher, and in world history we have Kant, Rousseau, and so on. So no doubt cost benefit analysis is very good. Apart from that, it's very interesting, like you will never get bored. So if one is trying, or if one has any myths around history, so I think there should not be any myths. And apart from that, when it comes to scoring in history, I myself have scored more than 280 two times. In 2021, my score was 290. And many of my friends, and we know the last year topper, she was also from history. This year also we have highest score is somewhere around 304. So everywhere students score more than 280, and so there is no aspirant should not be fearful about the scoring in history. It's all about your hard work, your passion, your approach. So this is all about myths around history optional. So starting with the source part, if we see the syllabus of history, first thing which an aspirant should do is that they should take out the print of history optional, syllabus of history optional, and by heart, I think they should cram it, because every word is important. Even if there is a mention of Dhamma. So last year they asked a question about Dhamma. So every word is important, and they should cram by heart every word of history optional syllabus. So syllabus is done, and when we see, you also have to take 30 years previous year paper with you, and you have to analyze with syllabus. For example, if you're talking about Indus Valley civilization, you have to see what is the trend, what they are asking. They are shifting towards social aspect, they are shifting towards new approach, new discoveries. For example, agriculture or farming in Indus Valley civilization. So history is becoming dynamic. They are linking with it new discovery. For example, like last to last year, there was an excavation of Rakhi Garhi. So you may link, or question may be asked in light of that discovery. And so starting with paper 1, we know that there are 4 papers: paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, and paper 4. So paper 1 is about ancient and medieval history, and in ancient part we have map. And believe me, if you score, or if you have an accuracy of more than 80% in map, your marks in paper 1 will never be below 130. Anytime I have consecutively scored more than 130 in paper 1 just due to map. Map was one deciding factor, because accuracy rate of mine was like around 70 to 80% every time. Now, how to deal with map part? So again, here previous year papers come to our rescue. If we see the trend, around 60% are repetitive sites. For example, they will ask about Mehrdgarh, they will ask about Rakhi Garhi, they will ask about Burjahom. If you just type Burjahom, you will find that every 3 years they will ask about Burjahom. So you have to look previous year papers. Apart from that, you have to jot down sites. And then what you can do is that you can refer to any coaching materials, or you can make your own notes. Like what I did was I did extensive Google search. Because we have to be very pinpoint about the location, because many times sites, they are very nearby. So we have to be very accurate. So you can refer coaching materials, or you can also go for a Google search if you have time. And when it comes to if you have located the site, and now what to write. In my first attempt, what mistake I committed was that I wrote in paragraph, and I wrote everything in general, whatever I knew, and it was not organized. So we have to be very organized about what we are writing in the description of site. For example, you can write, for if there is a Mehrdgarh, you can write about location, you can talk about archaeological findings, you can talk about current relevance. For example, if they ask about Bhimbetka, you can link it with UNESCO site. Same goes with Ajanta. So you have to be very much wide. You can touch about location. It can be district, it can be on the banks of river. You can talk about political history, you can talk about social history, you can talk about archaeological findings. You can also talk about recent happenings, like whether it is a UNESCO site or government has proposed some plan. So this will obviously fetch you good marks, or in fact you may score full marks in maps. And what I did, once I'm done with my notes, every morning 30 minutes I used to dedicate for map, because it is it is an exercise for brain also, and it is very interesting. Believe me, once you are done with your notes, you will love it. And every 30 minutes for 2 to 3 months before mains, it is going to help you to fetch, or to have an accuracy of more than 80%. And you should, or this is my analysis, that in map, if we write in point wise, it becomes very easy. Like you can restrain your word limit to 30, which UPSC has mentioned. Okay, now coming to after map, we have ancient portion, and there are 3 questions. And if we look the trend, Like question number 2. So question number 2 is they ask before modern period. They may ask about Indus Valley civilization. They may ask about Vedic age. So what I did was I have I have made some of my strength areas in ancient paper one ancient history. What I did was that I know my strength area was before modern period, and I knew that question number 2 will be from these areas. So you can also, if you analyze the trend, this is why I, at the very initial discussion, I mentioned about previous year paper. It has huge importance. You can analyze the trend. So after analyzing the trend, I came to conclusion that there is a certain trend every year UPSC follows in optional, and it may change also because we know about the unpredictability of UPSC. We have to be ready, but going with the trend, going with the normal, whatever be the normal trend of the UPSC. So, like if you can make like before modern period, what are the topics? If you can make those topic your strength area, your core areas, so you can easily attempt one question comfortably, and you may score more than 60% in that part. And it can be any, like it can be after modern period also. Like I have divided before modern and after modern. Coming to the source of paper one ancient history part, what I referred was I started with NCRT, and believe me, it is very important for optional. Very, very, very important for optional. Apart from that NCRT, I also referred Upender Singh. Upender Singh, I did not studied like a whole book. I was very specific which topics, like I did not refer for Paleolithic or Stone Age period. I referred for modern period or certain portion which I felt that it was relevant, and they are asking verbatim question. And to be very specific, let me give you an example. In 2020, they have verbatim lifted a statement which was in Upender Singh. Same goes with modern history. Verbatim statements are being copied in modern history, and it is not just 1 year. Like couple of years, they are just lifting that particular statement from Shekhar Bandyopadhyay or Upender Singh, to be very specific. Apart from that, I also very selectively referred IGNOU material, BA and MA, because some of the topics which I could not I could not get enough sources, or I was feeling that I felt that I was not having enough content. I very selectively use IGNOU BN and MA material. And I also tried to jot down what are the current relevance. For example, a few years back, there was some dairy products which archaeologists found in some like Gujarat sites of Gujarat. So I decided, or I made a note, whenever they will ask question about IVC, I will mention this part, because it will add weight to my answer, and it may give me half marks extra. And this small steps or small marks will later on, it will help you to score more than 280. Now coming to paper one second part, it's medieval. Same medieval also I referred NCRT, IGNOU very selectively for like whatever the topics is there. I referred that topics from IGNOU. I did not read in full because I was very one thing also we have to keep in mind that we do not have to multiply our sources. Like if there is a Delhi Sultanate, I do not have to read from 3 sources. I have to read from only 1 sources. Like what we can do, or what aspirants should do, is that they have to analyze PYP. For example, there is a Mongols, invasion of Mongols. You can see what are the questions which have been asked in past. You will have around 10 questions. So you can see the dimensions, and when you are making notes, you have to ensure that these topics or these parts are covered in your notes. Then you do not have to refer any other sources. So after IGNOU, there is also Satish Chandra is a very good book. I use very selectively because I was done with my notes. I had covered enough because I was satisfied that I do not need to refer any other books. But it is also very good book, Satish Chandra. But you do not have to mix, like you are doing IGNOU, you are doing Satish Chandra, you are doing n number of books. It is not advisable. Pick up any one source and just ensure that you have covered enough or not of that particular topic. And apart from that, I also used Google for some miscellaneous topic like foreign policy of Mughals, which I could not find, in any sources. Coming to paper 2, paper 2 we have modern history and world history, and paper 2 is very 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 rewarding. And I am told that this year someone scored somewhere around 180 in paper 2. I don't know about whether it's genuine or not, but I came to know it's 280. I myself got in 2021. I scored highest marks in paper 2, and believe me, it is possible. We just have to be very strategic, because here hard work is required, but it is not the sole factor. You have to be very smart. You have to be very strategic. Why I'm mentioning the word strategic? Because your approach has to be strategic. What you have to filter out. So coming to modern paper 2 modern history part, I will start with sources. Again, NCRT. NCRT is very important. Shekhar Bandyopadhyay. It is, I will say, it is Upendra Singh of modern history, because they asked in 2019 or 20, they asked question about Tipu Sultan. They asked question about Indian INC, and they lifted the statement from the book. So you have to refer this book. This is very much important. Apart from that, some of the topic which I could not get from this Shekhar Bandyopadhyay, I referred IGNOU very selectively, so that I can cover all the topics, and selectively Google search for some topics like post independence and so on. And I would like to also emphasize on the fact that being strategic, what it mean to be being strategic. What I did was I analyzed, and I came to know that every year 50 marks has been or is allotted to post independence part, and I know that maximum 90% of the aspirants will not be covering this. So I decided this has to be my area, and it took me around 10 days. I covered in detail. I made my notes, and it came so handy that in 2021 also there was 50 marks for allotted for post independence, and I'm very sure that they would have given me like more than 60%. So you have to be like very selective which area they are asking, and you have to make those area your strength points. And I'm mentioning post independence because if you can see the trend, and this is doable. It will also help you in GS1 if they ask you. We never know, they may ask 2 questions from post independence, and it is like they are asking very basic question, land reforms or environment movements. Modern history source and strategic part is done. Coming to the world history, same world history, I referred IGNOU material, and I did Google extensive search. Apart from that, one can also refer Norman Lowe and L. Mukherjee, but you have to be very much limited about the sources. Whatever the topics is there in world history, you have to ensure that you have covered enough for that topic from any sources. You can choose any sources, but you do not have to multiply your sources. You can see the past year trends. For example, Charter Act. If you see last 30 years paper, you will come to know that there are around 10 to 15 questions. You can get the idea of what are the areas they can touch, and accordingly you can refer one source. And if you are able to cover all these areas, then it's done. Similarly, you can cover all these topics. It will take time, believe me. Do not go for shortcut. It will take time, but once you are done with your notes, I can assure you that minimum to minimum 270 is possible. Apart from that, what is important is previous year paper solution. What I did was that you can refer any coaching materials for value addition. Like I also use Triversity because some of the historians or some analytical, like they provide me more from the analytical perspective. Apart from that, there are other materials also which also I used to enhance my answer writing. So you can use any material, but you have to ensure that you are covering previous year paper, because they used to repetition is trend in history. Every year you will find somewhere some question or other, it has its link with like previous year papers. Anytime, if you see last year, if you see last to last year, they used to ask question, because they do, in history we know it is static. So they do not have any there is a limitation. What can you ask? If they are asking about 1857, we have around 30 questions from past year papers. So more or less they will link one topic with other topic. So you have to be you have to cover previous year paper solution exhaustively. It will take time, but this will help you. Coming to the strength areas, I will talk about what I did. In ancient part, I ensured that map and I have fixed certain topics. For example, culture part. Culture part, every year in paper 1 you will see around 80 to somewhere around 120 marks is dedicated to culture part, and it also come handy in prelims part, in prelims as well as in GS1. So culture, I made this, okay, this has to be my strength area. For example, when they talk about Mughal architecture, when they talk about Delhi Sultanate architecture, I also prepared some diagrams which I can use. For example, dome of Taj Mahal or arches, because it will enhance my answer. So you can make your strength areas accordingly by analyzing previous year paper. Apart from that, I talked about post independence. We all know, do not avoid it. It's very important. It will enhance your score and it will make your preparation more easy. It will take hardly like 2 to 3 hours per day for somewhere around 1 week or so. You will cover post independence, and you will also be done with your GS1 post independence part. So it has a dual benefit. And one more thing which I did was that prediction. If you see the trend, so there is a certain trend. For example, one disclaimer I would like to mention is that it is not foolproof. We know about the unpredictable nature of UPSC. Like in year 2020, if you see the map part, I think there was some changes in the political means whatever the political map it was. You can see the map of 2020 paper. So there was some difference according to the trend. So we have to be very much open. Like they may change the nature of paper, but whatever be the nature, if you are doing this, you will be ready. We have to be mentally ready. Whatever be the trend, whatever be the questions, I have done enough preparation. I'm ready for anything. So coming to the prediction part, what I did was that I analyzed paper and I came to know that, okay, like this topic, for example, Samudragupta, they are not asking, or Kharavela, they have not asked for like couple of years. So automatically it becomes important. So I used to practice, I used to revise maximum those topics which are more probable this year, and it will definitely, even if 30% came, in 30% you will score 70%. So you have to be very much strategic in predicting the questions, and you can take help of any coaching, or you can also analyze yourself. Now coming to answer writing practice. Having said that, all these sources and notes making, it is futile unless you are writing answer. Answer writing it is just like you are driving a car and the fuel is answer writing. So answer writing is very much essential. You cannot assume, or you cannot say that I will write directly in exam, or I will write just a week before. No. Optional, especially history optional, it demands, or it requires enough of your attention in answer writing, because you do not have to write general studies answer. What mistakes we commit, even I committed in my first attempt, that I was like, I wrote everything. I don't know why did not I scored marks, but I realized that my answer I wrote, it was good. There was no problem in my answer writing, but I was writing from general studies perspective. I have to write from history optional perspective because it is my optional. And if they ask about Dhamma, then okay, I do not have to write from GS perspective. I have to mention about Romila Thapar. I have to mention about many historians, their perspective. I have to mention about pillar edicts. I have to justify what I'm writing. So it has to be like the taste of options should be there in your answer writing. So it will take time. Minimum to minimum 3 months of extensive practice is required. And for that, you can choose any test series. And to choose test series, what I believe is that the mentorship is very, very important, because I want someone who should be available, because if I'm having doubt, I have to clarify the doubt. I cannot delay it to week or 2 months, because the competition, what is the level of competition here. So mentorship is very much important, and you can refer any coaching, whatever you feel. And in my last attempt, I took help of Ranjan sir, and sir was very much available whenever I felt that I have to enhance my answer writing or my analytical approach. So sir was very much available. So availability is very much required, because more or less the content or source is same, but availability to refine your answer. What we have to do, everyone can write answer. They will ask about decline of Indus Valley civilization. So there are two theories, and how we are approaching, we can write, okay, political factor, social factor, environmental factor, and so on. But if I say, no, there are two theories, theory of gradual decline, theory of sudden decline, and then I mentioned point number 1, 2, 3 along with historians. Apart from that, I will also mention about the recent study by, if I'm not wrong, IIT Kharagpur study. I will mention that paper. So it is going to give me an advantage. And if I'm able to discuss with some mentor, it is definitely going to help me in scoring, or in having to inflate my score by 30 to 40 marks, or to score minimum 270 plus. Coming to the notes and revision. See, history, when you are done with notes, answer writing practice, revision is the key. Like minimum to minimum 5 times you have to be, like, you have to complete your topics, or you have to revise minimum 5 times any topic, because then only you can able to write answer in whatever be the time is allocated. Because history, there are 4 pages for 20 markers, and you cannot think for 2 to 3 minutes. If you have done enough revision, okay, if they have asked about 1857, okay, I know, means I have read in detail, I know it will take me 30 seconds or 1 minute to frame my answer. But if I have not done enough revision, it will take me 3 to 4 minutes for that same content. And even while writing answer, I will have to think how I have to structure my answer. So these are small things which will help you, and I can assure you that if you are able to follow these, then 270 is anyone can achieve. So this is from my side, and I'm really grateful, and I'm always available to my aspirant community, because I was also an aspirant and I qualified in my last attempt, and I'm really grateful to almighty teachers, family, and it's my time to give back to aspirants. So I'm always available. Any help from my side, I'm always ready for you. So thank you.